So what we're going to do is to, you can place your hand lightly. Sometimes it helps to actually touch, because we never think of our body in these ways, to actually touch the bottom of your throat. Just lay your hand gently over the bottom of your throat. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath into your body. And now just imagine that your thyroid is showing you itself. You might see it, for example, as a glass that's half full, or it might be dark, it might have lumps in it, it might feel heavy. Just let your thyroid glands show you their balance at this moment. And just listen. Are they hypo? Are they hyper? Are they imbalanced? Just take a deep breath and let them tell you. Now ask your thyroid master gland what color it needs to come into perfect balance physiologically in your life at this moment. Take the first color that pops into your consciousness. And begin to suck that from your hand into your throat. Just feel it coming in. Suck it in, breathe it in, drink it in. Feel it flowing through those thyroid glands, nourishing them, filling them with that frequency of light. When we are in physiological balance, we are in balance on the hierarchies as well. That's it. Release your hand and take a deep breath and open your eyes. These kinds of exercise in consciousness that we can do for our bodies are great to do when we go to bed at night, because at night the pituitary, another endocrine gland that is in constant communication with the thyroid, puts out growth hormone that creates new cells and rejuvenates the body. So when you do bring light into your body when you go to sleep at night, it really facilitates rebalancing. Also in the morning, before you get up, you wake up, all right, let me look at my endocrine glands. Which ones of them need it? Does my thyroid need it? What color does it need? By just taking a flash of a moment to do that, you set your energy. If you feel a little tired in the afternoon, again, a little iodine, or what color do you need, thyroid? Your awareness and your capacity to listen to your body's truth will change your body and make it healthy. So thank you.
While we're on that subject
Yes.
about the radiation,
Yes.
what can we do about the radiation?
Well, I think we're all here, and certainly all of us who live in New Mexico have chosen a high-frequency area, because again, radiation is simply light.
Right.
So it's an increase in radiant light. And humans, as we had in the very beginning, millions and millions of years ago when humans first walked on this earth, we didn't have the ozone layers we have now. They were exposed to radiation. So we are a new generation, let's say, or a new generation of humans that are living on this planet at a time when, again, we are having more radiation than we have had before. So it is our job, in order to secure the future of our children and our children's children, to adapt to radiation. And there are ways that we can block it if you're exposed to a lot of radiation. There are certain herbs and essences and even chlorine. There are homeopathic remedies. There are a lot of things that can help if you've been exposed to a lot of it. Let's say you've been having chemotherapy and radiation that you might want to look into. But for us wandering around, I feel that what's important is not to be afraid of it, but to invite our bodies to quicken, because again, it's just a frequency of white light that's very fast, so that we quicken. As we quicken, we adapt to those frequencies and our bodies become resistant. It was very interesting that you asked that question. I was just in Japan, and my higher self gave me a beautiful message to give to the Japanese, which was that your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents, for some people, who were affected by Hiroshima and some of these places, this event, I want you to know that you have psychogenetically inherited the capacity to adapt to radiation. They may have died, but in their dying, you have inherited already something that relates to it, that relates to radiation. And so you will not die. In fact, you will have within you an increased capacity to work with that and to be able to use it so that the human body, not only the mind body, but the physiological body can utilize, not just be bombarded by radiant energies, but utilize it so that the brain is quicker, that the body is faster, and we are healthier. I also think it's important that people forget that my higher self gave me in Japan, which was, I think, really an opening for both me and the Japanese was, in effect, New Mexico was the first place on the planet in which an atomic bomb was dropped. And so again, because we have come here, because we were born here, because we are living here, even though it was the southern part of New Mexico, we are part of that psychogenetic inheritance. So it is for us to become aware of it. At the Nijoni School for Global Consciousness, we always have taught children and adults how to perceive radiation. Because if you could be aware of it, then you can use it rather than it using you. And I was always amazed that they could tell when we would move towards from Galisteo, looking at the molecules in the air here, and then moving towards Los Alamos, they could tell exactly where those radioactive zones are. No matter what anyone says to you, there is radiation. And so again, what we did is a figure eight. There's a figure eight, it's in several of my books, Exercising Consciousness, that speeds the electrons of the body. When you do that, you are aligning with those kinds of frequencies. And so you can actually feed on that and wield it so that it supports your life.
Are you doing that in your brain?
You can do it in your brain, you can do it into your whole body. When you have cranials here, we do the whole body. And that is something that really influences, again, your capacity to expand the consciousness, to expand the awareness, so that we don't have to be afraid of radiation. It doesn't have to harm our bodies. Our bodies just simply have to adapt to it. And we have to be fed certain foods and certain energies that support us so that we can balance those things. I think it's a gift to be in New Mexico, to be in a place where we have this. It was very interesting to me to go to Japan and to feel similar energies as New Mexico. When people come to New Mexico, they say, "What is that? I feel energized here." And I said, "Radiation." Well, in a little different way, but still a very high, tight spin of radiant energy was present. I was only in the Tokyo area, but was definitely present in that area. And so it had spread through the islands. And once we have that awareness, then it allows us to think differently and to be conscious in a different way. So what we want to do, above all things, this is true about the physicality or the health of the body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, is to say, thank you. I am grateful to be here in this radiant energy and to be radiant beings.